It's time for your TLC Hiking Club monthly vid clip.
And I'm your host, Eric Kinnaman. Let's get right into it, guys. Okay, so there's two hikes that happened since the last vid clip. One was the Chiricahua National Monument. Phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal adventure that we took at the southeastern part of the state. Logistically, if you went, that was an absolute nightmare, and it's a 3.5-hour drive to get there from southern Phoenix. And if you did the hotel thing, right outside there in Wilcox, you kind of understand that it's there's nothing there in Wilcox, so it's not a good way to, I don't know, maybe do a hotel and maybe get some other sites in the town of Wilcox. Adopt both of those things into your adventure. There's just nothing there. So logistically speaking, it is an absolute nightmare. And but what a phenomenal hike. Honestly I had underestimated it as far as the beauty and what we were actually going to get into. Those sites, those rocks, I mean, the rock formations. I mean, in my opinion, it blows Sedona out of the water. But logistically speaking, and what else surrounds the Sedona area, obviously is going to kick the rear end out of the Chiricahua area. But if you feel me, the park itself, the rock formations, and the Chiricahua National Monument by far below the Sedona area out of the water. That's my opinion. If you've never been there, you've got to put it on your bucket list and make sure you check it off, especially for an Arizona bucket lister. It's a no-brainer. Again, logistically speaking, it's going to be a long, long day, or you're going to be spending a night in a motel-ish thing in a town like Wilcox where there just isn't. There's nothing there. It is what it is. Anyhow, thanks to all those who attended the Chiricahua National Monument, Heart of Rocks Loop. Phenomenal day with some great friends. Moving onward, last weekend we had done Battleship Mountain, and I got to tell you, there's another hike that I underestimated as far as the beauty of what we were going to get involved with and the exposure. I mean, I did the reading up on it, and honestly, there was a couple hikers for over the last couple years kept saying, "Man, Eric, you got to schedule Battleship. You got to schedule Battleship." And finally, I threw it on the schedule, and I'm glad I did, because it's a very unique hike. And I would do that hike again. Me, some of these hikes, are one-timers because of logistics or whatever. But Battleship Mountain is definitely worthy of going back. Phenomenal adventure. The exposure that you have on the sheer drop-offs. Obviously, it's going to test you psychologically on your heights. If you're scared of heights, you're going to end up turning around and you'll never make summit. But what a phenomenal day. Another great group of hikers that we had out there that day, and thanks to all those who attended that adventure. And they were our two hikes that we've had in the last month. Phenomenal hikes. Definitely, hikes where, for me anyhow, I'll never forget them. And I had underestimated both of them as far as just the beauty of what we were going to be seeing for the day. I actually underestimated Battleship Mountain with its toughness and its brutality as well, to be honest with you. I think the scrambling and the boulder hopping for 2, 3, 4 miles of that hike, and the off-trailing and the ascent to get on top of Battleship, combined with the sun exposure, because there's no shade. You are in the sun from minute one until you finish, and I think that really wore on our bodies as well. Anyhow, moving onward, getting prepared for the oncoming month here, April. What we got coming up this month is just crazy. Next weekend is the Mount Lemmon summit hike, from the bottom of Mount Lemmon to the summit of Mount Lemmon. It is an American backcountry classic hike. I'm not sure if you all are familiar with that. Google it, American backcountry classic. Google that. They have a plethora of hikes on there throughout the country. And I was surprised when I found that this Mount Lemmon hike is an American backcountry classic. I never even heard of it until maybe a half a year ago when I started doing the research 6-7 months ago. Still unsure if we're going to take the Sutherland Trail or if we're going to take the Romero Trail up to get to the summit. It's still going to be brutal lashing. Approximately 7,000 feet in elevation gain. Going to be 14 to 15 mile one way. Logistically speaking, this thing is a friggin' nightmare because we got to get vehicles on the top of the summit, and there's only a few of us that are willing to do that the day before. Drop our vehicles at Mount Lemmon Summit, and that way we have vehicles to get there once we empty out on the exit, which is going to be up at Ski Valley. Right there where the ski lifts are at, if you've ever been up there in Summer Haven. Anyhow, that some people call that the Cactus to Clouds Junior or Prickly Pears to Pine Cones, which is our training session for then 2 weeks later, April 26th, Cactus to Clouds. Baby, here it is. We've been talking about it for nearly a year, and here it is. It's in your face. Come and get some of this. It is the hardest ultra day hike in North America. So let's get that right out of the way. Of course, you can do any hike and double it and triple it and say that that's the hardest hike. So here's where we're getting our statistics from. There is no other hike that is going to give you over 10,000 feet in elevation gain in one trail, one way. One trail, one way, 10,000 feet, over 10,000 feet in elevation gain. That is where we get our statistics from. Of course, well, if you do rim to rim to rim to rim to rim to rim to rim, it's, this is harder and that's harder. So again, let's go back. One trail, one way, the most elevation gain that there is on any hike in North America. So anyhow. Moving onward, that's it for April. And in May, get ready for Buckskin Gulch. And we'll talk about that next month if we survive these next two crazy, crazy hikes that are coming up in April. Get prepared, my friends. And I thank you to all those who are willing to go along on these adventures that are coming up. I have anxiety already, and we're weeks out. Peace, brother.